Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's something serious. Where my girls at? We link up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
Hey y'all, hey.
Hey you guys, we are talking about keeping it strong and sexy. We get ready to go on to the show, so I'll be right back at you at the break.
All right. It is going down. It is going down. Michael, I'm still really far away. They can't hear me. They can't hear you. They can't hear me. You got me, Michael? Okay. Can y'all hear me now? They still can't hear me. Gloria, Crisette, Sabrina still can't hear me.
Now we can.
Still. All right. I need my music again. Where my girls at? It's going down. Oh, yeah. There I go. Oh, my gosh. Give it up for Michael. Oh, yeah. It's going to go down today. This is Winning Wednesday, and we're going to be talking about how to make marriages win today on We Got Issues. We do have issues. Don't get me wrong. Marriage, you do get some issues, but today we're going to be talking about marital bliss. We're going to be talking about how to keep it strong and sexy, and we're even going to be talking about how to handle some of the bumps that come along the way. And when I tell you, we didn't have to have any guests today because collectively these chicks right here got 94 years. Can you give it up? I mean, we looked up and said everybody has an anniversary in September. And then there's me in December. And so I'm so excited. This is Caterina Harris Earl coming to you from hot, kind of cool down today, hot California. You are listening to 910 a.m. the Superstation-WFDF. We are so excited to be broadcasting to Detroit and all over, and we like to keep it sassy, sexy, funny, messy. I mean, we are all those things, and today we are going to bring it talking all about marriage. I'm excited to be on with my girls, Gloria Mayfield Banks, Crisette Ellis, Sabrina Goodwin Monday, and we got issues, but we have amazing marriages. So before we get started talking about our man, the one that makes us smile and makes us happy, I just want to hear what is going on in your life today. The news, hot topics, what's going down. I mean, OMG, it's a new month. It's September. So Gloria, what's going on in your world?
Yes, it is September. It's my favorite month, no matter what. It's my birthday month. It's my anniversary month. I broke all the rules. I tell everybody, don't get married and have your birthday at the same time. That's a bad decision. You only get one gift, but that's okay. We'll talk a little bit more about that. We've had rain here. Ida is visiting us here in Maryland. It is raining up here in Baltimore. It rains and it stops, and it rains again and it stops. But I'm fortunate because I'm dry. I got power. I got food. I got water. I'm in a no complaint zone. That's my deal. That's why I keep telling myself I'm in a no complaint zone. I'm worried, very, very worried about the fires. Very worried about the fires because, between Katrina and oh my God, Ida and the fires, you go back and forth. You go back and forth. You go back and forth. And then next thing you know, the COVID is underneath everything. It's underneath everything. So it's a big concern on my part. But today, I love the fact that we get to come to We Got Issues. We get to come here and talk about other things, including the things that are going on in life. Katrina, back to you.
All righty. Well, this is exciting. They forever talking about me. If y'all knew this chat, they are talking about me and my fan. Where are the women out there who need a fan? My fan. They're like, we hear the feedback from your fan. We hear the feedback from your fan. Oh my gosh, there's nothing like girlfriends. I have it on, but it's way across the room. So, Crisette, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Hey, I am doing well. I'm excited on this Winning Wednesday. And you guys, there's so much going on in the world, so much to talk about. Two things that I heard today that just made me sit up in my seat and say, wow, 3 officers and 2 paramedics are being indicted on manslaughter and negligent homicide in the death of McCain. And you guys probably heard about it. And you know what? I listened to it because I was like, McCain, I kind of didn't recognize the name until they got into the story. This actually happened in 2019. Young man just coming back from the store, minding his own business. Somebody called in the police and said they saw, a guy with a ski mask on or whatever. And the police came and saw him, how it is, walking while black. And ended up, he had his earbuds in, just listening to some music, walking down the street. And because he didn't comply fully with their commands, they put him in a chokehold. And, he told them that, he was an introvert and that, he couldn't breathe and that he was just trying to get home, you guys, just trying to get home. And I think it's about 23 years old, smart, had a job, had not been in trouble before. And it's just horrible when you hear these kinds of stories. So that really made me a little sad. I could only imagine what his parents are feeling, but they're thankful that, almost 2 years it took for them to charge the police officers. And what's really interesting, they're charging the paramedics as well, because when they put the chokehold on him and he couldn't breathe, they called the paramedics, and the paramedics shot him with some kind of medicine that caused him to have a heart attack. And then 3 days later, 3 days later, he died. So, just sad all the way around. But I'm so glad, and I prayerfully there will be justice for this young man. And then the other story, did you guys hear about the unvaccinated teacher?
Chris, where was that? Where was that? Where did he live?
I'm not sure what state, but if you just, I'll find it and tell you when we come back from break. But did you guys hear about the unvaccinated teacher in California who infected 12 of her students?
Yeah.
Okay. 12 of her students. And
reading to them.
Took
her mask off and read a story.
Took her mask off.
What?
Read a story in California. And wait a minute, she went to work having some symptoms and thought it was allergies, and then took her mask off, read a story, and now 12 of these little kids, and of course, they're too young to be vaccinated. Can you imagine being the parent of one of these children? And prayerfully, they won't get very sick and nothing, tragic happens to them. But that's just unconscionable that a teacher would put her students at risk like that.
I didn't hear that. And it happened in California. I haven't heard. That's just. And if something happens, she could be charged with, I don't know, what is that called manslaughter or whatever it's called when you negligence.
Well,
I don't know.
not necessarily. If they didn't have a mandate for masks, and if they didn't say that the teachers had to be vaccinated, then what can they charge her with? Especially if she says she didn't know she had COVID. She just thought it was, her sinuses.
We got a whole lot of issues. We want to hear from you talking about these issues and talking about marriage today. Make sure you call us 313-778-7600. Sabrina.
Hey, what do you say?
Facebook, she looking like she ready for a date again, y'all.
Yes.
Okay. We're talking about husbands. We're talking about keeping a marriage strong. I said, let me dress up. Let me dress up for this show today, okay? And Chris is sitting there with her baseball cap, telling me, not me today, not me today. Different strokes with different folks. You're just happy to catch me on a good day. Well, what's on my mind, you guys? Oh, my goodness. How about this abortion ban in Texas? I mean, this is we are going like years and years backwards. This is a show all by itself, but did you guys hear about the controversial Texas law that bans abortions at 6 weeks went into effect early Wednesday morning after the Supreme Court and Federal Appeals Court failed to rule on pending emergency requests brought by abortion providers? I mean, they're saying even before you know you're pregnant, well, at that point, you can't even request it. And if you aid anybody in getting an abortion, you can go to jail. That's what this law is saying. If you're a parent, a relative, if you drive somebody to the clinic, you're going to jail. This is crazy. And so that's going to be a show all by itself. But that's at the top of my mind today, is just how we seem to be going in the reverse direction in terms of women's rights, in terms of voting rights. We got issues, y'all. So I'm glad we're here to talk about them. Yeah. Civil rights. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of it.
Rights,
yeah.
All of it. Because I can't remember who it is. I see Tony in the chat can maybe type for us, because there was a new Voting Rights Act voting bill that passed in one state last week. Something happened. I mean, it's coming so fast. And guess what? How about all the stuff that we don't know while all these other big issues are happening? So much other stuff is happening that we don't even realize. So
the little stuff that lets the big stuff happen. It's all the little stuff that you miss, that by the time it gets to the big stuff, it's all already in front of you.
Absolutely. Well, I am looking forward to this show today because we love to talk about love, light, and lessons. And we are going to hit strong on love and lessons. We're going to talk about love. We're going to talk about Black love. We're going to talk about some relationship advice. And to kick it off, we have a little song. Before that song comes, I just want to say to the Facebook audience, y'all know that Facebook will put you in jail if we play the whole song. So we're going to try to give you a little bit. But if you want to join the 910 a.m. Superstation app, you can catch it all. So go ahead, Michael, and kick it with our first love song. This is one of my favorites. This is New School. Oh yeah. we got a boo thing and everything else. He gets as hot like nobody gets as hot like you do. So y'all, here's the deal. Marriage rates, y'all, in the United States have been declining in the recent years. While this is true, so many people desire marriage and we want long-lasting marriages. Long-lasting marriages are becoming more and more rare. How can couples ensure that theirs is a happy one? Every couple is different, and so is their relationship. So there's no one-size-fits-all magic formula for a happy ever after. But we are going to hear from me 8 years. Gloria and Ken, 25 years this week. Woo, woo, woo. Give it up for Sabrina and Kenny, 28 years this week. Okay. I mean, everybody coming up in the next, I should say next week, in the next 10 days. And 33 years, Crisette and Chuck Ellis. Oh my gosh. So I am the novice. I'm new to this thing, but I can tell you that I have learned so much from every one of them. So I'm going to slip a few of my lessons in there, but I'm mostly going to be interviewing them today. So the first thing that I'm going to ask you to do is, and don't have me cut you off because everybody know what time we take the break. Cut yourself off. So everybody's trying to fit in talking about their man. Just brag on your man. Tell us about your husband. So Gloria, you go first. Tell us about Ken and who are we married to? I'll tell the love story after the break, but tell us.
That is so funny. So listen, I am married now to an international financer, and that's what I call him now because he has his hands in so many things. He ran a construction company in the Baltimore area for over 35 years. Was a big dog in that arena, and then he started serving on boards and serves on boards around. He's built the $600 million front of Johns Hopkins University, and he did the hotel. Now I'll tell you something that's fun. It's fun to go through the city and see his name on billboards. It's fun to go through the city and look at the hotels that he's put up. So that's been a big fun. It's fun to have him bring the races in. So, you know, who he is for me is not what he's done, but who he is for everybody else is what he's done. What he does now, you guys, seriously, he's a serious philanthropist. I can philanthropist. And so he really does a lot in that thing. And what keeps him busy right now is being chairman of the Federal Reserve here in the Baltimore, Richmond area. So he's really locked into what's going on financially, what's locked in, what's our future. And that's what he's busy doing while he travels to Columbia back and forth and stays over there half the time and stays over here the other half of the time. That's Ken
awesome.
Banks.
Amazing man. And tell us who Kenny Monday is, Sabrina Monday.
Oh my goodness, Kenny Monday. He's an amazing man. He's an incredible husband. You know, that's our song, Booed Up. His nickname is Kenny Boo. And so that name is so all through high school, everybody, when we go home, everybody still calls him Kenny Boo, Kenny Boo, Kenny Boo. And so that is our song for sure. But Kenny is an incredible man, father, husband, son. He just really is a humble guy. He is the first African-American to win the gold medal in the sport of wrestling. And that's huge all by itself. To think that the wrestling is the oldest sport in the world. And he is the first African-American to win a gold medal in that sport. So he teaches. He's an incredible coach. Just about to take a new job in Ohio. I could go on and on. I don't want to bore you guys with my man stories. So I'm going to pass it on to Crisette. I'm not going to hog up all the time because I know we got to go. So Chris, you got 30 seconds. Okay, you got 30 seconds.
Got 30 seconds. We better come back after the break for me to talk about my man. Don't even try it. Don't even try it, Sabrina. Don't even try it. But I'll try to get it in. We got a few minutes before break. Well, you know what, you guys? I am absolutely married to an amazing man. You know, one of the things that I so love about my husband is he's so humble. He has such a big heart for people. And I believe that's one of the main reasons that I was attracted to him. He has a lot of confidence. He has done so many amazing things in the city of Detroit and around the world. And so he is an awesome husband. I love the fact that he supports me in everything that I do. He's never tried to put me in the box. Okay. He is an incredible pastor of Greater Grace Temple. He is very well known throughout the city. I mean, we can't go anywhere without somebody saying, Bishop Ellis, Bishop Ellis. We walk through the airport and you'll see people whispering. I'm like, they recognize you. I told him, I said, you can't do nothing wrong. You can't do nothing wrong because people know who you are. And sometimes it's funny. They'll say, you look just like this pastor. He said, you know what? People tell me that all the time. I absolutely love his sense of humor. I mean, he is really an incredible heart, an incredible husband, a wonderful father. And I'm just so thankful to say that we have been together for 33 years, you guys, and that is unheard of in today's statistics. So I'm excited to have a chance to talk about staying together and having this wonderful, wonderful love affair for 33 years.
Oh my gosh, it is so good. And before we go to break, I really do have 30 seconds because I'm hosting my man, Dr. Anthony Earl. He's amazing, global traveler, global pastor, and pastored for 30 plus years in Chicago, and now just coaches and pastors and plants churches, and just an amazing student and teacher of the Bible, in addition to so many other things. Okay, if he was on, he would say a photographer for all these women on here. He would add that he loves it. And so we have some callers. We're going to catch you right after the break, and we're going to take you to break with a little bit of old school. Give me some Barry White. We will be right back.
Keep on
doing it.
Keep on doing it, baby. Keep on doing it. Right on.
Hey, you guys, that was so much fun. So we want to know, put it in the chat, how many years that you've been married. What are some of the things that you do to keep your marriage hot and spicy? And you know what? I don't know any marriages, and maybe there are a few, that have not had any bumps, in the road, have not had any challenges. And thankfully, we're able to overcome them. And so put in the chat, some of the things that you have had to do. I think, sometimes going to counselors is absolutely a positive when you're trying to save a marriage and trying to connect at a different level. So put in the chat, as I said earlier, typed in the chat, what are some of your favorite love songs that you like to listen to? Is there a specific song that you and your husband, it's your favorite song? It's the song that maybe you guys listened to when you were dating, and it brings back so many wonderful memories. Put it in the chat. And you know what? We absolutely would love to hear your love story. Maybe you have an anniversary this month. 3 of the 4 of us, can you believe it? 3 of us got married in September. So maybe this is your anniversary month and you want to call in and give a shout out to your boo. Go ahead and do it. And if you have some things that can help, we heard from Angela a few weeks ago, talking about the things that she does to keep her marriage hot and spicy. But we love hearing from you. So give us a call, 313-778-7600. And Barry White. Oh my God, when she played Barry White, I'm like, that is a voice. When I tell you, nobody has been able to replace the voice of Barry White, right? Oh, got some more music.
A little Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I could listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
All day long. Oh, my goodness.
All day long. I love me some Earth, Wind, and Fire. When I tell you, it is sweet. I love EWF. We're going to go to our callers, and we're talking about how to keep marriage strong and sexy. 7 things all men need in a relationship. And the men that call in can say if this is true. Number 1, praise and approval. Number 2, respect. Number 3, a sense of sexual connection. Number 4, give them some emotional intimacy. Number 5, every man needs some space. Number 6 is physical touch. And number 7 is security. So we're going to hear from our callers. We are first going to Tia. We have 3 of you on hold. Please stand by. Tia, are you there? Thanks for calling. We got issues.
Hi, ladies. How are you all doing today? We're doing great. We're doing great. Fantastic. So first off, a little off topic. Y'all were in jams, okay? I was thinking, like, did they just say boot up? That's not fine. And then I said, wait a minute now, hold on. I thought it was Friday at 12. Yeah, I love the music that you had going. I'm like, okay, y'all got me in. Now, that's the first thing. The second thing, you all be bringing the looks. Let me just say that. Okay. The head rocking, the headpiece is always, I'm like, wait a minute. She had on the other day, dressed like a turban. Today, she got a cap on. I'm like, Crisette is reading it, okay? And then Gloria had on the hard like yesterday with the pretty lashes, not so chartreuse today. Katrina, you had on the all red with the red lip yesterday, all the shoulder. I'm like, she's feeling herself. Okay? She's doing a stage show, okay? And then my favorite girl. Oh, my favorite girl. I love you so much, Miss Monday. You are just as cute as a button. And the hair is always cute, everything. But I remember the stuff that you guys did where you on vacation and the beach was out, and you had this beach hat on, and you did not take that beach hat off the whole show. Oh my goodness. Thanks for being so loyal to the show. Okay, thanks for being so loyal. And you just told the radio audience, you made it so vivid. They only like, we gotta go to Facebook to see what they got on. Tia, are you married? No, and I never want to be. Never want to be. Talk to it. No. Okay. So, the one thing I think that you need to add to that list, number 8, you have to be a good cook for your man. I think you have to be. That's just me. Me and Love is just funny. They do. I get like that. Yeah, but that's just me. That's just an answer to things. I never wanted to get married. I like the single life. I like it a lot. Yeah, I do. I like the single life. It's tough, I'm sure, to be married, but I like the single life. I love it. And so the last thing I just want to talk about was the topic that Crisette brought up about the teacher that spread the COVID to the students. Yeah. One of the things that I really think needs to be focused on, to me, as much as they try to push the vaccine, they need to really focus on testing. I don't like the mandate. That's the thing I don't like, that vaccine, mandating the vaccine. But if you're going to mandate anything, mandate the mask, mandate the testing. Because if they had tested the teacher when she came in, they would have known she had COVID, and she couldn't have taught that class like that. So I think they really should push the testing, like in hospitals and schools. But she was there long for taking a mask off. She should have left her mask on as an example to the other children who need to wear masks. So, that's kind of what I want to say about that. But yeah, this is the romance thing with the marriage with my show. I just called it we appreciate you. We appreciate you. We appreciate your perspective. We appreciate your point of view. And we appreciate you watching and paying attention. Thanks for calling in. We are going to Marathon. We're going to Marathon. Our boy Marathon. How you doing?
So y'all gonna be a little bit disappointed, but it looks like we lost the marathon.
Oh, Marathon. We got you. He'll call in tomorrow. So Marathon, we're gonna be looking for you tomorrow. We are going to Carolyn. Can you please? Thank you for calling. We got issues. Are you there, Carolyn? Yes, I'm here. Awesome. Talk to us about. Hi, ladies. How y'all doing? Great, great. This is my topic. This is why I'm calling in. This is my topic. Because we've been married 37 years. Wow. I say it without hesitation. 37 happy years. I can only remember one of the 37 being kind of challenging. But after that, all of them have been, I know most of you see us together. We are best friends. And I know the key to it is that Thomas knows who he is, and he allows me to be who I am. And it works for us. If nobody's around but me and him, we have a great time. And the greatest compliment we could get, our son, our oldest, he was 17. We were playing in the kitchen one day, and he said, I hope me and my wife act like y'all when we get married. And we were like, you hear what he said? Then at 21, he said it again. So his dad said, if you get a wife like your mom, you will. So it's just I love me some Thomas Muse. I was and I believe he'll fight you about me. So and you just stay on the honeymoon. It's not a trip. I love it. Wow.
Love that. That is so good. Congratulations. 37 years and continuing.
Wow.
So excited to have you as a part of our tribe. Thank you for being a loyal listener, Carolyn, and thank you for calling in to brag on your marriage and your man. So that is awesome. That is awesome. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. We appreciate you. So many, oh my gosh, that are in the chat. 51 years of marriage. I mean,
Gloria Davis, 51 years, Crisette sister.
That's cray. Yes.
That is so good. So I'm going to the girlfriends, and we're going to talk about what makes it work. What makes it work? What let's just jump on into some marital advice. What makes it work for you? And somebody said that Tia said you got to be able to cook, and I'll tell you, I have a great marriage and I can't cook. Okay, get it. So there's some men out there, and which one of the other girlfriends do you think up in here can't cook? Just take a guess. Okay. So
let's see what they say.
It's not the exact same for everyone. It could be a little bit different for others. My husband does like to eat. Okay. So, and I cook a couple things, but Crisette, 33 years, what makes it work? How have you made it work?
One of the things that I think really makes our marriage work is that we allow each other to be ourselves and to pursue our passions without feeling like one person, their goals or their aspirations are more important than the other. I love the fact that, my husband, Chuck, he was raised, he's a PK, a pastor's kid, and his mother was a stay-at-home mom. And I mean, she was there for everything. And so I'm just so thankful that he did not try to put me in the box that his mother was in, stay at home. His father, was the provider for the family. But, I never had to worry about, Chuck is never, even when he became the pastor, he was never the guy that said you had to come to every single church meeting, even though you had other things to do. It was never a burden that I could not fulfill my purpose and do the things that I wanted to do, even though, of course, I absolutely support our church. I love our church family. I love being the pastor's wife, first lady of Greater Grace Temple. But I also know that that's not all that I am. I love that he has allowed me to be all that God has called me to be. So I always say, T.D. Jakes said this, and I've never forgotten. Never let someone put a period by your name when God intended there to be a comma. So you can be a first lady, you could be an entrepreneur, you could be a mother, a wife, an author, a radio talk host. Can you get excited? And so I just know that sometimes there are men who it's all about their purpose, all about what they want to do, and what you want to do is secondary. So I think being able to fly and be who I need to be has been so refreshing in our marriage. So that's one of the things that I know has kept our marriage together.
And Chris, I have to say that you gave me that great example, not just being a radio talk show host, but let's be clear, a radio talk show host of a non-Christian, program. I mean, there's so many first ladies whose husbands would be like, you can't do that. Secular
Right.
radio, I mean, just it's out. But you know what? If you are who you are, ministry is in you and it's everywhere you go, and you don't have to wear a sign on it, right? And so I just thank you for giving that example. And as that example, it helped me to know who to find, who was finding me. I mean, who to be excited about marrying. And that is, I know your example is part of how Anthony came in my life and allowed me to do the same thing, to not put me in that first lady box. I just am so grateful. And so some of your best marriage tips, Sabrina. We
Right. Actually, he would be, but he's out getting Rio from the groomer. But he might be listening in on the radio because he likes to listen. And of course, when we're talking about them, he wants to know what we're talking about. But I thought about this, and first, let me say that marriage is not always easy. It takes work. You have to work at it. You have to want to work at it. You cannot give up. I see so many people throwing in the towel so easily. And I always knew that if it's worth having, it's worth fighting for. And so just a few things that have kept our marriage solid. We grow together. We give each other. You said they need space. He needs space. I know my soulmate. Our song "Walking Down the Wedding Aisle" was "Soulmate" by Michael Franks, and we are soulmates. We understand each other. We talk about our needs and wants. I give him the space that he needs. He gives me my space. We encourage one another. We're very supportive of one another. We're getting ready to move again. And some people are like, I can't believe you're moving again. Why would you move again? I would tell him, well, that works for you and yours. It doesn't work for me and mine. My man's going, I'm going with him, okay? there was 1 year that he was going, he got a new job, but Sydney was her high school year, and we wanted her to finish school. And so he took the boys for a year, and I stayed with Sydney. And so just being flexible and adaptable, I think, is really important. There's no rule set in stone, like what works for somebody else's family might not work for your family. So I think you have to define what works for you and be okay with that. Also fun. Keep it fun, have fun, laugh a lot. Even when I want to be mad at Kenny, he makes me laugh. And he does that because he knows I'm mad. And he said, let me make her laugh. I'm going to sit here and make her laugh. And then we can be in the middle of an argument and we just start busting out laughing. Okay. So I think having fun is important and laughing a lot. But it does take work, you guys. It does take a lot of work for sure.
Absolutely. And Gloria, you've been working at it for 25 years, together for 33, I think you said, right?
31.
So
31.
31. So talk to us. What is making it work for Gloria and Ken?
Oh my goodness. Listen, let me tell you this, because I know these girls so much, and because I know their man so much, because I know y'all marriages so much, I'm like leaning in. This has got to be one of the most interesting shows because I know for sure. But one thing I want to say is from the moment we met, it was laughter. It was laughter from the beginning to the end. It is always hilarious. I mean, hilarious. He just came back yesterday from being in Colombia for a month. And I'm telling you, I walk into a room, I start laughing. I leave the room, I start laughing. So laughter is a baseline for what gets us what gets us joy. And I think the laughter is what prevents us from having arguments. I do think that marriage is a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but I think that because we're on our second marriage, both of us had communication as a very high priority. And we were very unapologetic with knowing what we wanted and knowing what we would put up with and knowing what we weren't going to put up with. And one of the things that we both said that was most important to both of us is that we were not going to walk on eggshells, because when you walk on eggshells, it's a very uncomfortable place to be. So the conversation, we worked into a place where we can talk about everything. We have to talk about it. If you're uncomfortable, you have to talk about it. If you're uncomfortable, you got to stop and listen. So the laughter makes the communication work so good. And then I think, one of the things that you put down, one of the 7 things, was security. For me, I am a woman who loves security in my relationships. And so what I love about Ken so much is that he loves to love me. And because he loves to love me and he has no problem showing his love for me, either in the way he acts, or the way he talks, it gave me a place so I could love hard. I wanted to love hard. And I missed that in my first marriage. And I want to love all the way. I want to live at 100 and 200%. And I don't want to hold back, and I don't want to resist, and I don't want to think small. I don't want, for years, we didn't give birthday gifts to each other because we thought, like, if you give me this gift and I give you that gift, it defines how you feel about me. And because I'm not a gift giver. So that worked great for our relationship. So what Sabrina said was, when things work good for you, they work good for you. And if you listen to all 4 of our relationships, all of y'all would go like, what? Like, what? I mean, like, we all got, what? Y'all do that? Because we all are married to men who are so strong with who they are, they let us be who we are. And I've always said forever, it takes a strong man to lift a strong woman.
That is so true. It's so true. And Gloria, so much of Anthony and I living in 2 places, so much of him traveling and being gone in Europe for a month and him being in Chicago for a month and I'm away. Sabrina's like, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? But honestly, that's helped to keep it hot. It helps keep it fresh. It helps to keep it going. Of course, during COVID, we haven't been doing that, but there are many marriages that would not work for them. And so someone said that blissfully happy in a marriage is defining what your perfect marriage is. What it looks like for you. Someone said, we do what makes us happy, from handling finances to household chores. When you listen less to what society says you need to do in a marriage to make it, you figure out the things that make your marriage flourish. And I think all of us would agree that there are areas of our marriage that are traditional and there are areas that are very different from what would be considered to be, this is the way it's supposed to be, right? And we're so grateful. Let's talk about the 7 things that women need. And y'all say if you agree here. Number 1, to feel loved. Check.
Yes.
Okay. Number 2, to feel safe all the time. Number 3, to be seen. Okay. All of us. Yes. Number 4, to be allowed to be nurturing. I love this. Just as masculine energy has the need to protect, feminine energy has the desire to nurture. And that just is so true. Number 5, to feel sexually desired. Okay. Important. Number 6, to be appreciated. And number 7, to feel like she can count on you. We want to feel like we can count on our man. And I am just grateful. We want to encourage. Oh, we have Grace on the line. I was just going to say, want to encourage you to call in and ask the girlfriends a question about marriage or share with us what is working for you in your marriage. 313-778-7600. And Dorothy, we are going to go to Grace. Grace, thank you for calling in to We Got Issues.
Hello. Good evening. I wanted to just make a comment on the young man that got killed by the officers and they're being charged. It was in Colorado. I did follow that. And he was mentally challenged, but high functioning. And during all that time that they were choking him and kind of, I guess, beating him up, he was reciting his address and his name, and that's one of the things that individuals do. And like I said, he was an introvert. It was sad, absolutely sad. And somebody called in on him because he had a ski mask on and he appeared to be acting strange. This is what really prompted them to come. But the individuals in the store knew him, and he was a regular. And he was really, really sad, absolutely sad. There is a video clip of the incident. It's absolutely sad, baby. Absolutely sad. Wow. And I hope something really comes out of it. And it's sad that the parents had to wait so long in order for something to really, really attempt to be done. Just because they're charged doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be convicted, whatever happened. But I did follow that, and I just wanted to just share that little bit there. Sad, absolutely sad. Young man, sad. absolutely. Very sad.
It is so sad, Grace. I mean, it's so sad. Colorado, just everything is sad about it. Everything is sad about it. And we can only pray that we learn from this yet again and that it doesn't happen again and that justice is served. I mean, absolutely. And even today, as we are talking about marriage, one of the things when you think about Black love is the fact that in our lives we
raw
deal with
emotions, and being a Black person is in a racially biased world. That is one of the things that is so important to Black men, so important to Black women, is our unique bond of that safeness at home to be able to talk about what you really want to say that isn't necessarily appropriate to say to everybody else. And so I thank you for bringing that to the table for us, Grace, and we will continue to watch and follow that story. So thank you for calling in, and We Got Issues.
Hey, Caterina.
Thank you. Yes.
Someone, Sharice, asked in the chat, and she has a question for us. What is the longest period of time you have remained angry with your spouse? That's a good question. What is the longest period of time? Look, nobody wanted to take it on.
It depends on the
days.
kind of anger. It depends on the kind of anger. So you can have angry in an argument, or you can be like mad a long time because nothing ever changes. Like you just, every time I see that, you make me mad because blah, 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 blah. So, there's degrees of anger too. So, I mean,
Right.
That's a very interesting question because, but also I want to say some of it is personality. What you find here with what I would say for all of us, and we can all speak, but for ourselves individually, but we don't hold on to anger. Different personalities like to be angry. And I think if you don't like to be angry, if you just don't like to be angry, it's hard for you to hold on to anger, even if you're disappointed. So angry and disappointed is two different things to me.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? And I'll say this, early on in our marriage, I tended to stay angry longer. And I guess for me, and this is something that I had to learn as I matured in our marriage, was that Chuck was the type of person that, you know how you want them to know you're angry, but they act like you ain't mad. And I mean, they don't acknowledge your anger. And so because you wouldn't acknowledge my anger, that made me angry. They made me more angry. And so then I try to take it up to another level because I'm like, he gotta know I'm mad. So you do something else, and it's like no acknowledgement that you're angry, and that would just infuriate me until I had to learn how to communicate and say, you know what, I'm really angry, I'm upset, this is how this situation made me feel. And so for me,
right,
it really helped me to learn how to communicate better, as opposed to sitting around pouting, not, looking at him, going to another room, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I would say early on, I could hold on to some anger. The first lady, absolutely. I testified about it already at church. So amen. Praise the Lord.
Amen.
And I would say it was early on in our marriage. I think maybe 3 days, not like 3 days, like not talking. We have never gone that long without talking. And I'm probably the one who holds it longer. Anthony will get angry at me. We call it an intense fellowship. And then all I have to do is just, if I could just hold my mouth long enough, as soon as he wakes up at 4 a.m. and he goes into his prayer closet and spends 2 hours with Jesus, it'll be better. Okay? In that moment, I want to shake him and be like, you need to go have a conversation, okay, with the Lord. Okay, so we are going to LaDonna. LaDonna, thanks for calling in to We Got Issues. We want to hear from you, LaDonna.
Hi. I'm a member of Greater Grace, and I know that my husband and I, we just celebrated 40 years of marriage. Wow. Awesome. And we did our renewal, and the renewal, we did the wedding and everything. It was better than the first time both of us actually was crying when I was coming out for the service. And it is hard work. And sometimes you think that you're not going to make it. But I just want people to know, some people out there might be struggling. You just got to keep God first. And then after that, go from there. It's not an easy job. You got to communicate. And I'm like now, I feel more in love than when I first got married.
Wow. That's awesome. Madonna, talk to us about that. How did you get there? How is the more in love? Talk to us about that.
I think it came with COVID-19. We was already, I work and he's retired. But we spent a lot of time in the COVID-19, and it's just like you reflect on a lot of things, and you realize that the big things are not important. It's the little things. Right. Yeah, right. Just being up every day, speaking to each other, telling you love each other. We go through whatever I want when he speaks to me, and I just feel so rejoiced and so blessed. Because I've been through a lot of trauma in my life, but he accepted me for everything, unconditional from day one. And we've been married for 14 years. We got married when we were 21 years old, so we had to grow up together. And I just want to encourage people that it's not easy, and don't listen to people when they tell you can't do it. Everybody told us, you are not going to make it. You're not going to make it. And people that we know married 2 times and still not making it.
Wow. You added so much value. I mean, all those years, all that wisdom, and you are more in love than ever. So, Donna, we thank you. And, oh, my gosh, we hope you'll tag us.
Some of those pictures from your renewal of your vows. Thank you for calling in to We Got Issues. And thank you for keeping it real. Thank you. Sabrina, let's talk about some of the challenges. I mean, how do you, when you just disagree on, big decisions about whatever, big decisions about kids, big decisions about finances, big decisions about whatever those big decisions, how do you walk through that? How do you walk through it? What's the key?
Yeah, that's exactly what you do. You walk through it. Prayer. I mean, you take that to the altar, you ask God to be the mediator. And I think that's so important to have a faith-based marriage, a marriage that God is in the middle of it. Because there have been times in our marriage during family time that we didn't really know where to turn or what to say or how to say it. But after we went to church or after we had Bible study, it felt better. Take God as your power partner. But you have to have somebody willing, because I am so grateful that Kenny's always been willing to go to church or pray about it or go to the scripture on it, because counseling is important as well. And so you can't just rely on yourself all the time to figure it out. You have to be open to have help there. And so, in parenting, people have different parenting styles. We didn't come with the book to say, this is how you do it. There are some books out there, but they might not fit your family. And so I really think just having God as our prayer partner and being in the middle of it has made the difference for us, for sure. And communicate, talk about it. If it's a hard conversation, we got to talk about it. You cannot just let things happen. You have to see it happening. You got to wait for it to happen. You got to make sure that even when it happened, it might come back again. So you just have to be aware and act like, instead of acting like it ain't happening.
I love this article. Go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say, someone asked in the chat, how do you cope with your husband refusing counseling? How do you handle that?
I would say you go yourself first. If he refuses, you go get yourself the help you need. And you'll get stronger, you'll get wiser, you'll get just more aware of what's happening, because you can't fix everybody. That's not our job to fix everybody, but you can certainly work on self. That would be my thought. That's my thought.
Mm-hmm. I think that's so good. We were talking about God, and this article, Donald and Carrie talked about God is the glue, and Bill and Amanda said keeping Christ first in a relationship is key. It's like a triangle with ourselves as the bottom corner and God at the top. So, so I think that is so true. Let's talk about spontaneity. Gloria, you are the busiest woman I know. So how do you keep it spontaneous with Ken, big life, your big life? I mean, y'all got the busy lives that could cover 4 couples. So how do you keep it spontaneous, keep it spicy? How do you make that happen?
Okay, so one of the things I think that matters is both of us have high standards for each other. I mean, we really do have high standards for each other. And so I understand what he wants. If I'm not going to cook, he wants some food in the house. So I'll make sure that there's food there, but I may not be the one that's going to provide the food for him, but I'm going to make sure it's the kind of food he wants to eat, but the spontaneity, to me, I work hard to look good for him. And it makes me feel good because he gives me compliments. So I think that's a big deal. And I give him compliments. I live in a world where we get a lot of compliments. That's the world I live in. He'll go out. He'll look fabulous. He'll come home. I said, did you get a compliment? He said, no. I said, I can never operate in your world. Never operate in your world. Nobody said nothing nice about what you did. Oh, my goodness. I can never operate in that world. I think that the spice is important. It is important. It's important to talk about it. It's important to create it. It's important to sustain it. It's just important. And so if you like that, if you like the spontaneity, I think that's a big deal. I think our family is a big deal. So because our family is that we laugh with them and we love with them and they see it. We don't cover up the love. It's out there for everybody to see. So that makes a big difference. And I think that for us, the travel, the time away, the excitement in our own professions, we get to bring that back. And so the conversation is very strong. The conversation is very good. And I think that equally keeps the excitement very high.
I love that Lakeisha says many times we just need to let the power struggle go, or the idea of being control it's so much better. Somebody said it like this: it is not the strongest or the most intelligent who survive. It's the one most adaptable to change. Marriage will change you in the most beautiful ways if you lean into it. Human beings are in constant state of evolution, especially now throughout our lives. Release all pride and ego and allow yourselves to learn from each other and to grow together, not just as a couple, but as individuals. You're two people who are independent, who independently are incredible, but together have the potential to be unstoppable. That is good, y'all. We got some good, juicy stuff today. We're going to end a couple minutes early because we got a little bit of Luther and a little bit of Devon. So here we go. Thank you so much for calling in today. Thank you for listening to We Got Issues.
If only for one night.
This report is sponsored by MTM Grand Detroit, Texas Hold'em, Bad Beat Jackpot.